Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to my very first YouTube video. And this right here is going to talk about the crazy Halo theory that I have. First off, thank you guys for being here. This took a lot of thinking and a lot of things to do, and I'm really proud to put this out. Now guys, before we get started, this right here is just a theory. This is just a little conspiracy theory that's been in my mind that I want to talk about. So first off, let's talk about it. What is the future of Halo? I have this theory that we in the Halo community are getting a multiplayer game shadow drop this year. Now, before you say there's no announcement, there's no proof, but what if I tell you this theory that I have might get you thinking? First off, let's start off with the very first. What if I told you Project Tatanka is the multiplayer game that we're getting? Now, before you say anything, wait, it's been canceled, right? Yes, but what if I tell you it was never canceled? It was switched over. So first, let me show you. So if we search a Project Tatanka Halo on the Google AI mode, right? It's going to give you all this stuff right here. Look, just remember, it was canceled in 2023, right? But if you go all the way down to cancellation and successors, right? It was changed in late 2022 to Project EK Hurt or Eker. Sorry if English is not my first language, but here's the key part. Engine shift. Development initially used the Slipspace engine, but was reportedly moved to Unreal Engine 5 during its evolution into a potential standalone game. Right? Now, currently, Halo Studio is focusing on multiple new projects, right? So what if I tell you that this game is their most kept secret game? Now, like I said, this is just a theory, right? But this was supposed to be a battle royale game, right? But look where we're at. It's now a standalone title, which means it was supposed to be a multiplayer game, right? But think about it. They switched to Unreal Engine in 2022. That means they had enough time to make a tech demo on the Unreal Engine. Okay. Now I'm going to also point out a few other things. So if we talk about the development, right? The Project Tatanka, right? It's been worked on since like 2020, right? If my math is correct, Halo Infinite actually took 6 years to develop, right? So what if that project that did the sudden change was the project of that 6-year cycle, right? It would just make sense, right? So this is where I'm thinking. When they shifted from Project Tatanka to Eker, it became a multiplayer game. It was already on Unreal Engine. So now, before you say anything, well, there got to be more proof, right? Let me show you some key details real quick. If you look at when they're trying to release Combat Evolved, we were thinking the 25th anniversary of Halo, right? Or we were thinking about, or Halo Fest, right? But recent reports from February 2026 suggested Microsoft is aiming for a summer 2026 release window. Now, before you say anything, that's just the release window. No, hear me out. There's many reasons why they're trying to release the game early. First off, is to avoid GTA 6, right? That's the obvious thing, right? But wouldn't it make sense to drop the game on the 25th anniversary? What if they have something ready by that date or even by Halo Fest? So now I'm going to give you two things, right? Let's talk about one game. Gears of War, right, was released with multiplayer involved, right? Okay, but what does that have to do with Halo? Okay. Remember, they officially ended support of Halo Infinite on November 18th. After Halo Worlds, they're going to stop supporting it, right? Because they need more help with Halo combat, right? No, they need all hands on deck to make the multiplayer game ready. there is no reason for them to stop supporting Infinite unless they have a really good valid reason, okay? And I'm assuming that they stopped development so they could work on the Halo multiplayer game that's going to be shadow dropped this year. Now, like I said, this is just a theory. Don't quote me. Please don't at me. Please don't say you're wrong. You don't know anything. Listen, what was the point of them to stop Halo Infinite, right? You gotta look at it. How did they get a tech demo ready? They had people already on the Unreal Engine before they made the switch, right? What if they were playing us? What if Combat Remake was the worst kept secret because they kept the best secret alive, right? So here what I'm saying. First off, why stop support on Infinite, right? Because they have a multiplayer game coming out. So this is my theory. Halo is going to come out with 2 games this year. Combat, right? Combat is going to keep us in hooks for at least a few months, right? But wait, what about ACS? Here's what I'm going to tell you right now. Now, if you search up when will Halo Championship Series come back, a lot of things have been reporting that they're looking to be in late 2026, right? 2026, right? Why would they want to come back at late 2026? I'm telling you, they're shadow dropping a Halo multiplayer live service game. It just makes sense in this theory. So you're telling me Project Tatanka became the multiplayer game that they've been working on for years, right? They not cancel, but they stopped supporting Halo Infinite so they can have everybody help Halo Combat? No. They need many hands on both ends so they can make sure Halo multiplayer is coming out. What was the point of them releasing just a game without multiplayer, right? The definition of Halo is you play campaign, then you play multiplayer, right? If there's no multiplayer, what's the point? We're getting a live service Halo game. It's going to be shadow dropped this year. Now, like I said, this is just a theory. Please take it with a grain of salt. So when will it be dropped? 2 possible dates. Halo Fest or the 25th anniversary. Now, the 25th anniversary, I'm really kind of holding on a little bit because, there's a lot of games coming out in November are going to compete with GTA. Now, obviously, if you don't care about GTA, then it shouldn't matter, but it just makes sense, right? But Halo Fest, right, is in December. Let's say they drop the game in December, right? ACS comes back next year. Why would ACS come back? I'm telling you, this is the theory. The theory that I'm going to repeat. So let's have a little recap. First off, this is the theory. Halo Studios are dropping a multiplayer game this year with Halo Combat Evolved at a later date. I have pointed out some details that might support the theory, but like I said, take this theory with a grain of salt. All right. Project Tatanka is the multiplayer game we're getting. It's shifted over to Unreal Engine, and it's been on Unreal Engine for a while, right? Since 2022, right? If you look at it time-wise from 2020 all the way to now, that would indicate a 6-year cycle of Halo, which has been the normal thing for Halo. So, like I said, this is just a theory. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think. If I'm wrong, great, I'm wrong. But like I said, take a grain of salt. If I'm right, please don't come back to me and say you were right. I'm just giving you guys the crazy Halo theory. But anyways, guys, this is the video, and I'll probably post another one soon.